Hello, two heads up here. Welcome to another God Wars Dungeon Guide, and this time I'm showing you the setup that I use for DPSing Bandos. Now, you've probably never seen this setup before, and it's kind of just one of those things that's a great idea, but a little harder to think of just off the spot. So let's talk about your role as a DPS first of all, and the items you need to bring to Bandos in the first place. So you do need a Zammy item for kill count. I always use my Unholy Book. It's great because it gives that extra prayer bonus if you decide to kill spiritual mages. And it's one of those items you can just, once you go in the room, you can just drop it and buy another book for 12k at Edgeville. So it's great. Don't forget your hammer. You always need a hammer for Bandos. Bones of Peaches. I recommend using Bones of Peaches at every boss other than Zamrock, because obviously Zamrock drops ashes and not bones. Telly's out. And okay, let's get started on the inventory. Now, as a DPS, your job is to do tons of damage to Bandos and kill them as fastly as possible. Not only to as fastly as possible. Wow, fuck, Sean. Not only to prevent people from crashing you, like people see that you're doing a lot of damage, or you do a lot of damage and prevent them from getting the kill. But the faster you kill General Grador, the less damage your tank takes. So it's great. It's a great idea to stack strength and accuracy in everything you have. So as a spec weapon, I've chosen Dragon Halberd. And the Dragon Halberd is one of the best spec weapons in my opinion at Bandos, because its special attack, if you don't know, hits twice on monsters that take up more than one tile on the ground. So right now I'm standing on one tile, and now I'm moving in between two tiles. And if a monster takes up two tiles or more, then the Dragon Halberd spec will hit twice per spec. And the spec takes up 30% of the bar, so you can use 3 specs per full spec bar. And it has double the strength bonus of a Dragon Dagger, and more than double the accuracy of a Dragon Dagger. So that's why it's a great weapon to use at Bandos. Okay, so the inventory. How many brews you have to bring really depends on how many people you're doing Bandos with. I don't recommend doing Bandos with more than 3 or 4 people if you're looking to have your own world. Massing, on the other hand, is a completely different story, and it's a completely different setup for massing. This is just a group of 3, maybe a group of 4 setup. I only run in groups of 3 at any boss in God Wars, so that's just my way of doing it. So with this setup, you want to bring as many 3-to-1 ratios of brews to superstores as possible, because with this setup you have such a huge prayer bonus that prayer really isn't an issue at the end at Bandos. Eventually you run low on food and you end up with more superstores than food, because Bandos drops quite a few superstores and you get to use the altar. You need the supersets to keep yourself boosted up at all times. He does drop super strengths and combat potions, so you don't need to bring a whole lot of supersets. I usually only bring 2 supersets. And a few prayer potions to fill up the rest of the space. So how you want to drink your brews is whenever your boosted stats are low, so whenever your superset is getting low and you need health and you need prayer, you just brew up 3 doses, drink 1 dose of Superstore, and then drink a superset. And that way you make sure you don't brew yourself down, you don't waste a superset, and all the rest. So let's look at the gear. Now, this is what I was saying about this prayer bonus. A 19 prayer bonus, and that's thanks to the full Verax and the Nezi Helm and the Fire Cape and the Fury, of course. All these give you that 19 prayer bonus. You also have a mega high strength bonus. It's a great setup. So what do you need defense-wise for DPSing Bandos? You need melee defense, and you need magic defense, as you're praying range the whole time. And the magic and melee minions will alternate between you and your two other partners, the tank and the other DPS. So you need a good combination of high magic defense and high melee defense. And how you do that is, most people use a Carol's top or Zamrock D'hide top, or you can go the other route and bring a Brassy. Now, what's the advantage of using Brassy over Carol's top? Well, Brassy gives higher melee defense than a Carol's top, and it gives a 5 prayer bonus, and it doesn't give a magic defense penalty. So compared to Guthan's Plate, which gives negative magic defense, a Varrac's Top doesn't give any magic defense penalty, which is great. And that's why I prefer to use this. And the higher prayer bonus you have means the more food you can bring, because you use less prayer potions or super restores. So this goes for any boss. The more prayer bonus you have stacked, the more food you can bring, or the more brews you can bring in respect to super restores. That's what prayer bonus translates into. Any alternatives to this setup? You can do several options. You can really bring any God Sword here. You know, AGS, ZGS, whatever. I eventually plan on getting a ZGS, and that's what I'll be using instead of a Whip and Defender, possibly. As soon as they fix the stab glitch with the God Sword, I may consider doing that. But a Whip and Defender does plenty of damage. But unless if you have an AGS, really, which is the best spec weapon for Bandos and AGS. Unless if you have an AGS, no matter what God Sword you have, unless if you're using the SGS to heal, which I don't recommend as a DPS. I'll always use a Dragon Halberd at Bandos. It's a great spec weapon. It's relatively accurate. It's much more accurate when compared to the other spec weapons. And of course it's cheaper. So what are the alternatives to this setup? Well, obviously, if you have the money, you can use Bandos Chestplate and Bandos Tassets, which give a prayer bonus and strength bonus. But what do you miss? You get negative magic defense. So if you wore Bandos Chest and Bandos Tassets, you'd probably be around plus 20 magic defense, and you'd have a much lower prayer bonus. You'd have I think 7 lower prayer bonus or so. So you do sacrifice quite a lot by wearing full Bandos, but you get such a high strength bonus, and it deters a lot of people, I'm sure, from being crashed. But my teams haven't been crashed yet, so the people that have been watching, I guess, hopped and realized that we're doing good work. So this is the setup I use. It's a great setup. Definitely recommend giving it a try. The prayer bonus is just fantastic. And yeah, the Berserker Ring is kind of needed. If you don't have a Berserker Ring, Warrior's Ring will work great. But a Berserker Ring works great here because the one thing a lot of people overlook is the Crush defense bonus from Berserker Ring. The Imbued gives a +8 Crush defense, and the melee minion uses a Crush style attack. So a Berserker Ring will actually give you more defense and allow you to stay down here longer than a Warrior Ring. But definitely give them both a try. A Warrior Ring is definitely worth bringing if you don't have a Berserker Ring. Or give them both a try. I sure plan on giving them both a try. I don't recommend using Bandos Boots as a DPS because you sacrifice a 4 strength bonus for Bandos Boots. That's just my opinion. I believe Dragon Boots are better. And, okay. I think that's all I have to say about Bandos. Once again, good luck with your loots. Good luck with your bossing. And I'll see you guys next time.